Imagine waking up one day to find that the USA has suddenly disappeared. What would be the global reactions and implications? Let's take a moment to consider this unthinkable hypothesis. Picture a world where the United States of America, a nation of 50 states, over 300 million people, simply vanishes. Poof! The United States isn't just any country, it's a global titan, a powerhouse with an influence that permeates every corner of the globe. Its absence would undoubtedly send shockwaves through the international community, impacting everything from economic markets to political alliances, military strategies, and even cultural norms. Think about the economic implications first. The United States boasts the world's largest economy, with a gross domestic product that exceeds $21 trillion. Its currency, the dollar, is the de facto global reserve currency. It's hard to overstate the chaos that would ensue in the global financial markets if the US economy were to suddenly vanish. Now, let's consider the political aspect. The United States is a key player on the global stage. It's a member of the United Nations Security Council, the G7, the G20, and countless other international organizations. The absence of the United States from these groups would leave a power vacuum, altering the global balance of power in ways we can only begin to imagine. On the military front, the United States has the most powerful military in the world. It has troops stationed in over 100 countries, and its military spending is more than the next 9 countries combined. The disappearance of the United States would throw global security into uncertainty, raising questions about who would step in to fill the void. And then there's the cultural impact. From Hollywood movies to American music, from Silicon Valley's tech innovations to New York's fashion trends, American culture permeates every corner of the globe. Without the United States, the world would be a very different place. Let's delve into the reactions of different nations to this unthinkable event. Across the Atlantic, Europe wakes up to a world without its transatlantic partner. The absence of the United States would send shockwaves through the continent, shaking the very foundations of established international institutions and alliances. Starting with the economic implications, Europe would have to grapple with the reality of losing its biggest trade partner. The United States, as the largest economy in the world, plays an integral role in European economics. The disappearance of American markets could lead to a significant downturn in the European economy, pushing the continent to seek new trade partnerships and economic alliances. Then there's the political dimension. The United States has been a key player in shaping the global political landscape. Its absence would create a power vacuum that European nations might feel compelled to fill. Countries like Germany and France, already significant players on the world stage, might step up to take on more prominent roles. The balance of power within the European Union could shift, leading to potential political instability and uncertainty. The security implications are perhaps the most daunting of all. The North Atlantic Treaty Organization, or NATO, owes its existence and strength to the United States. Without its foundational member, NATO would face an existential crisis. European nations would be forced to reconsider their defense strategies, potentially leading to a significant increase in military spending and a renewed focus on building up their defense capabilities. And it's not just about military power. The United States has been a key player in intelligence sharing and counterterrorism efforts. Its absence would leave a gaping hole in these areas, potentially making Europe more vulnerable to threats. In short, the disappearance of the United States would leave Europe grappling with economic hardship, political instability, and security challenges. It would force the continent to reassess its place in the world and rethink its future direction. The European landscape could shift dramatically in a world without the USA. Scene script. Meanwhile, in Asia, the disappearance of the USA would send shockwaves through the region. Let's begin with China, a global powerhouse in its own right. The absence of the United States would undoubtedly present an opportunity for China to expand its influence. However, it's not all smooth sailing. With America's exit, China would face the daunting task of filling the massive power vacuum, a challenge that can strain even the most robust of economies. On the other hand, we have Japan, a long-standing ally of the United States. The disappearance of America would leave Japan in a precarious position. With their security umbrella gone, Japan would be forced to rethink its defense strategy. There's a strong possibility that they might ramp up their military capabilities to counterbalance the shifting power dynamics. Moving to India, the implications would be equally profound. As one of the fastest-growing economies, India has been building a close relationship with the USA. Their sudden disappearance could lead to a significant setback in India's economic growth. Furthermore, it might prompt India to take a more active role in regional politics, potentially setting the stage for a power struggle with China. Beyond these major players, other Asian nations would also face a paradigm shift. Smaller countries that relied on the USA for security or economic aid would need to seek new alliances. The resulting geopolitical jigsaw could lead to a new order, with countries vying for influence and resources. The economic implications would be significant as well. Asia, being the manufacturing hub of the world, would face a major blow with the disappearance of one of its largest markets. The ripple effects would be felt across industries, leading to potential economic instability. In essence, the disappearance of the USA from the global stage would leave a power vacuum that Asian countries would scramble to fill. The resulting shifts in alliances, economic dependencies, and power dynamics could lead to a new era in Asian politics and economics. Asia's political and economic landscape could be drastically reshaped in the absence of the USA. In the Middle East and Africa, the absence of the USA could leave a void that might be filled in unpredictable ways. As we turn our gaze towards the Middle East, a region where the USA has played a significant role in shaping the political landscape, we see a myriad of potential outcomes. Countries like Saudi Arabia and Israel, who have long been allies of the USA, might find themselves in a precarious position. These nations could have to recalibrate their foreign policies and seek new alliances to maintain their regional influence. The absence of the USA might also lead to a shift in power dynamics. Iran, for instance, could potentially seize the opportunity to assert its dominance in the region, free from the constraining influence of the USA. The balance of power could sway with the absence of American diplomacy and military presence, leading to an unpredictable geopolitical landscape. Now let's move south to Africa. The USA's influence here is largely economic, with American companies playing a key role in sectors like oil, mining, and telecommunications. The sudden disappearance of these companies could cause significant disruption and economic instability. However, it could also open doors for local businesses to grow and for new international players to enter the market. On the other hand, the USA's significant contributions to foreign aid in Africa cannot be overlooked. Many African nations rely heavily on this assistance for healthcare, education, and infrastructure development. Without this support, these nations could face serious challenges. Yet, this could also be an opportunity for other nations to step up and fill the void, fostering new alliances and partnerships. These are, of course, speculative scenarios. The real impact of such an event is impossible to predict with certainty, but one thing is clear: the absence of the USA from the global stage would create ripples that would reach every corner of the world, reshaping alliances, economies, and power structures. The disappearance of the USA could significantly alter the dynamics of these volatile regions. The global reactions to the disappearance of the USA would be as diverse as the world itself. In the face of the unthinkable, the world would be thrown into a state of profound uncertainty. But as we navigated through the hypothetical scenarios, we noticed a common thread. Each region of the world, each country, and each individual would be forced to confront a new reality. One where the American superpower no longer exists. From Europe, we saw a continent grappling with the absence of a long-standing ally and protector. The European Union would likely rise as a more influential global player, filling the power vacuum left by the United States. But this newfound position would come with its own set of challenges and responsibilities. Would Europe be ready? As we moved eastward to Asia, we saw a different picture. With the US gone, China and India could potentially ascend to superpower status. However, the implications of this shift would be complex and far-reaching. Would these nations be prepared to shoulder the responsibilities that come with such power? In the Middle East and Africa, the absence of the US might lead to a reconfiguration of alliances and power structures. Would regional powers such as Saudi Arabia or South Africa step up to assume a more dominant role? Or would we witness a scramble for influence among multiple players? Economically, the world would have to adjust to a new order. The US dollar, a cornerstone of the global financial system, would no longer be the default reserve currency. This could lead to significant shifts in global trade and economic stability. Security alliances, too, would be in flux. NATO might have to reevaluate its purpose and structure without its leading member. Other regions might see a rise in local conflicts, as the absence of US military presence could embolden some nations to pursue their territorial ambitions. In such a world, one thing is certain: nothing would ever be the same again.